Launch 3D Experience by opening the CATIA Part Design app through the compass. Open the model imported in Step 3 of the static hip prosthesis activity by searching hip prosthesis single. With the model open, go to the compass and open the app Simulia Mechanical Scenario Creation. Name the simulation Hip Prosthesis Demo Dynamic Simulation. Select the finite element model and click OK. Open the assistant from the toolbar if it is not open already. Under the Setup tab of the assistant, select Frequency Step. This will calculate the natural frequencies corresponding to the model. Accept the default values and click OK. A frequency step is necessary before performing a dynamic step with a time-based solution. We will now fix the bottom of the prosthetic hip. Under the Restraints tab of the assistant, select Clamp. Select the bottom face of the prosthetic hip as the support. Then click OK. Now it is time to create a dynamic step with a time-based solution. Under the Procedures tab of the toolbar at the bottom of the screen, select Modal Dynamic Step. Enter 2 seconds for the step time and 0.1 seconds for the time increment. Then click OK. We will now define the time-dependent loading in the X, Y, and Z axis. Under the Setup tab of the toolbar, select Tabular Amplitude from the drop-down menu. Name this amplitude X amplitude. Set the time span to step time and leave the default settings for the rest. Enter the values shown and click OK. Select Tabular Amplitude from the toolbar again. Name this amplitude Y amplitude. Set the time span to step time and leave the default settings for the rest. Enter the values shown and click OK. Select Tabular Amplitude from the toolbar again. Name this amplitude Z amplitude. Set the time span to step time and leave the default settings for the rest. Enter the values shown and click OK. Under the Loads tab of the assistant, select Force. Select the top face of the prosthetic hip as the support. Name this Force X force. Enter the values shown. Change the amplitude to X amplitude, then click OK. Select Force under the Loads tab of the assistant again. Select the top face of the prosthetic hip as the support. Name this Force Y force. Enter the values shown. Change the amplitude to Y amplitude, then click OK. Select Force under the Loads tab of the assistant again. Select the top face of the prosthetic hip as the support. Name this Force Z force. Enter the values shown. Change the amplitude to Z amplitude, then click OK. The last step before simulation is to request output for the time-dependent solution. Under the Simulate tab of the toolbar, select Output Request. Request the solutions for stress, strain and displacement, then click OK. We are now ready to simulate. Under the Simulate tab of the assistant, select Simulate. Accept the default values and click OK to start simulating. The results will generate after the solver is finished. You may view contour maps of the results for van Mises stress and displacement across the model over time. Click the play icon on the compass to view an animation of the results.